You're sitting on the sidelines, you're waiting for the rates to go down. You also are assuming the prices are going to go down. And it happens, it seems like every year. Rates go up or hold the same, maybe where we're headed into now, and the prices keep going up and up and up and up and up. So the point of today is we're going to help you get off the fence, because there's so much clear evidence of why you should not wait and wait and wait for prices to go up and just continue to hurt yourself here. I've got Bruce Dodd with ChattMortgage. He's going to help us talk through some of these things. Thanks for coming on today. So I want to start with a same story that you said we were laughing as we started this. He said, I have this conversation 47 times a day, right? And I had the same conversation with an old friend the other day. We've done some business with in the past. And he called me up and he was like, hey, I got a question. He says, is this the year where prices are going to start to go down? And do you think rates are going to go down as well? And, we laugh about it because it is such a false narrative to think that both of those things are going to happen at the same time. It just never does, historically speaking.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, what drives price? How many people want to buy something versus how many are available for sale? Doesn't matter whether it's pencils, houses, cars.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. And so the issue we've seen for a long time is there's a lot more people that want to buy than there are homes for sale.
Yeah. So let's break this down though, okay? It's because there's a rate conversation and there's an inventory conversation. Mm-hmm. You mentioned pencils or whatever it was. Think back in your childhood of what was the thing that you or maybe your parents were obsessed with. Was it Beanie Babies? Was it Barbies? Was it watches? Was it cars? There are certain things where everybody wants it at the same time and there's not enough of it. So what happens to price? It goes straight up, right? And so if you think back to that scenario, this is the same thing that's happening in real estate. It's clear and evident that in our market in Chattanooga, okay, this is the Chattanooga Real Estate Pulse. We are talking about Chattanooga. We have a huge increase of people moving into Tennessee. I believe it's one of the top 3 states in the nation that people are moving to. Yes, last year there were less sales. 2023 nationwide, 18% decrease in sales. Tennessee, 12% decrease. Yes, we had a decrease. It's not that prices went down, because actually prices last year in 2023 increased, I think it was 4 or 5%. I got the exact numbers. It's 4 point something percent that they actually increased from 2022 to 2023. Mm-hmm. And the real situation is there's just not enough homes out there to fill the demand for people. So people are moving here. Prices aren't going to go down, right?
Yeah. So the thing is when somebody says, hey, I'm thinking about waiting to buy a house till rates go down. What they're saying is I want to improve the economics of the transaction. I want to have a better deal. Well, the reality of it is that let's look at the past to give us some ideas of what would happen in the future.
Makes sense.
So when we saw a pretty significant decrease in rates from 2019 to 2020. We saw rates in about the 4.5% range. Great rates. Mm-hmm. Things were good. Went down into the 3.5%. Rates dipped.
When the world went on sale.
Yeah, the world. And so then next thing you know, we saw a 14, almost 15% increase in Chattanooga. Mm-hmm. Now, what have we seen over the last year? We've seen some of the highest rates that we've seen in 2.5 decades, in 25 years. Rates, we still saw the market move up. Mm-hmm. So when rates come down, I think you hear the Mortgage Bankers Association say they think rates will get in the 5s or something at some point. But what does that do? I think that's going to drive prices significantly up. So yes, maybe I have a little bit lower interest rate, but if we see a similar price increase that we saw from 2019 to 2020, we see a house go up by 15%. Median sales price of a house, that's $45,000.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
The house goes up by $45,000. Well, yeah, we saved a little bit in interest rate, but we did 2 things. One is we missed the net worth growth because we didn't acquire a property and watch it move up. We waited and we're trying to buy it when it's higher. So we're paying more, but we also missed that net worth growth. So I would argue if you're not in the real estate game and you want to be in the real estate game, you buy as soon as you can, because I think prices will definitely move up. And then you refinance when rates come down.
So, Bruce, did you bring your crystal ball? Because I left mine at home.
I did not.
You did not. Okay. It's clear and evident that nobody knows.
Absolutely.
Right? Nobody knows exactly what will happen. But someone like Bruce over at ChattMortgage, they're following these stats, right? As he's talking about, let's look at history. Let's go back to previous years and see what have happened. I do think if we did pull out our crystal ball, I don't know if we can say this is exactly what will happen, but I have a feeling we can guess it's either this or that, right? This or that. Let's talk through this. Either I think rates are going to stay the same or slightly increase, or they're going to stay the same and slightly decrease. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, rates, it's kind of like the weather will continue to change on a daily basis.
Yeah. So if we think about Weatherman Bruce over here, that's going to tell us it could go one way or the other. If rates are slightly to go up, why should someone buy today?
Because we just saw rates go up to their highest point that we've seen in 25 years, and we've still seen property values move up.
Prices go up.
So you still acquired a property that's moving up in value. And especially if you don't own real estate, especially if you're paying rent, you're absolutely missing an opportunity for wealth gathering.
And if you're thinking you're going to wait and the rates do go up while the prices go up, how long are you going to wait for? Are you going to wait until your children are able to purchase a home? I mean, it could never come back down, right? So you have the opportunity. You will be very happy if you go ahead and stick within your budget, live within your means, and say, hey, let's go ahead and buy today. And then let's be very happy when the prices go up. And even if the rates go up, you're going to be happy you locked in the rate that you had. On the flip side, if rates potentially go down, we both agree prices will definitely go up at that point because it's going to be a frenzy. People are going to be like, hey, it's time to buy. Sellers are going to say, I have more people interested in my house, therefore I'm going to raise the price, or I'm going to play the bidding game, right? So prices are going to go up. But what options does one have if they purchase today to beat the price game, right? But if they lock in a rate and they go down, obviously refinance is a conversation. But how low does the rate need to drop to even have the refi conversation? Because if it just drops like a quarter point, I'm not running to you to refi, right?
No, so people used to say 1%, but back when that was sort of the idea, rule of thumb, whatever you want to call it, the average price in Chattanooga was like less than $200,000.
Yeah.
So now that a median sales price is north of $300,000, mortgages are more. It's really just one of those things. We're going to look to see what does it cost, how much do I save, how long does it take me to pay it back.
Yeah.
So I would say I'd forget all those rules of thumb. I would say, things get north of 0.5%, around 1%. You look at it and you say, how much is it going to cost me? How long am I planning on staying in the house?
Yeah.
I talk more people in my history. I've talked more people out of refinancing.
Which keeps you from doing a loan, which means you're actually taking care of them long term.
Yeah, because if the numbers don't look right for you, one of the games that I see lenders playing right now is they'll say, hey, we can buy this rate down and you can pay all this extra money and you can refinance today. Well, if my cost is super high to do the refi, then my payback is like forever and it just doesn't make sense. So just because it's possible to do a transaction doesn't mean it's the right transaction for you.
Isn't it funny how people wear rates like a badge? I have a 3% interest rate.
Yeah.
you know, and you know what? At the end of the day, nobody really cares, right?
No.
Right? I mean, except for you. You're excited at that point. But it's at the same time, I would rather hang out with people that have lots of badges that own lots of real estate because their net worth is going up versus one great rate that they got when the world was on sale forever ago. Yeah. I mean, what are you hanging on to? Yeah, so I think the moral of the story is get off the fence and have a conversation because it's not. Owning a house isn't for everybody. Getting a mortgage isn't for everybody. But the vast majority of people that own real estate and have leveraged lenders like Bruce to be able to borrow that money have a greater net worth than the ones that don't.
Absolutely.
So I'd challenge you to think through. And that's one thing I really enjoy talking to Bruce about is the conversation around building wealth and creating a higher level of net worth goes into every conversation you have when talking to someone about getting a mortgage. It's not just about getting a loan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think really you want to look at that. You want to make sure you understand that, because I think for so many people buying their first house have never had the conversation about what are historical appreciations. What does that mean to me from a net worth standpoint? I'll have lots of people who want to buy a house at X, can't qualify for that. And I'll say, look, if we want to be able to buy that house one day, what we do is we buy a less expensive house. We let this one grow in value, and then we're going to have the money to acquire that house you really want one day.
You've done it for me for many years. Yeah, it's worked out well. So last thing I want to end with here. Okay, we're pulling some people off the fence in the right direction. They're like, okay, maybe I should be a little bit more open-minded. Maybe I should consider having a conversation, but I don't want my credit pulled yet because I'm not sure if I'm there yet. I just want to have a conversation. Does that cost me anything?
No.
Yeah, it's that simple. It's have a phone call. It starts with a phone call. It starts with a face-to-face. Either talk to a real estate agent like someone on my team, or go directly to Bruce over at ChattMortgage. And we're just going to start with a conversation, because without the informed information, you can't make an informed decision. So thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
Let's help get a few more people off the fence.
Let's do it.
Build some value, net worth for these people. Thank you again for watching the Chattanooga Real Estate Pulse. Thanks for being here, Bruce.
My pleasure.
Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell. You want to know what we're going to be talking about on the next week, and the next week, and the next week. We're going to keep bringing value and information to you. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed today.